How can you not love a big, huge?
It's a dry camping simulation.
Yes, simulation.
How can you not love a big, huge lithium battery?
That's a good question.
This is the biggest battery that Redodo currently makes.
And it is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. We'll put a link into our description for the previous video where we got their 200 amp hour battery, but now we got the 410 amp hour battery. You can cycle this thing 100%, 4,000 times.
Wow.
I don't foresee us going 100% depth of discharge on this thing, but we could 4,000 times.
That's crazy that you can do that many times and it's still safe.
Yeah, and I'm super impressed just by the sheer size, and what I mean is how small it is.
Right.
You would have to have 4 lead acid batteries to equal this one battery. And even then, lead acid, you can only go 50% depth of discharge. You go 100% on this. Here is the 200 amp hour. So you can see they're very comparable in size.
I was just gonna say they look really similar.
They are very similar. Keep in mind that this has twice the capacity of this one.
Right, as this one's a 410 amp hour. This one's a 200.
Now you may ask, are you going to use both batteries like in parallel? I can't. You have to have like batteries. I'd have to have 2 of the 200 amp or 2 of the 410s to run them together.
Right, right.
So we'll just have to find some other project, you know, for this battery, and we'll put this one in the Wraith, because what we want to do is we're going to upgrade our solar. We had 400 watts, or have, however you want to look at it, 400 watts of solar on the roof. We're going to upgrade it to 800 watts, and we're going to upgrade our controller from a 20 amp to a 60 amp controller, because we've got this big old honking battery.
And ain't she a beaut.
And we are going to boondock.
Hopefully a lot more.
Yeah, hopefully a lot more. The thing is, where we live out in the Midwest, there's very little opportunity to do that unless you just don't plug into electric at a campsite.
Right. But there are things like campgrounds that don't have electric, so it's more like dry camping. It's not so much boondocking.
Yeah, it's
but
dry
we can
camping.
Go dry camp.
Yeah, so we're going to try and do a lot more of that because we've got this monster battery.
Yeah.
We're going to do some side-by-side comparisons to see how the 200 matches up to the 400, because it does take up more space, but not much.
Right, we're going to see how much.
Looking at the height of the battery, we are at about 8.5.
Just slightly more than 8.5, but yeah, it's almost like 8 5/8 or so.
All right, so going over to the 410 amp hour, we've got about 8 5/8.
Yeah.
So they're about the same in height.
Very, very, very close. I'm not going down to the 64th or 32nd. Here.
No, we're gonna be close. Close is good enough. We're gonna go length. Looking at about 19 and I guess you want to call it 3/8 on the 410 amp hour. We are about 19 and a half, maybe. I can't see.
Yeah, I know it's kind of, yeah, it's close to the half. It's just shy of it if you don't include the handles.
So the height and the length is looking like it's the same.
Width or depth or whatever you want to call it.
This is where they're going to be a little bit different. I mean, just looking at them.
Yeah, you can see that this one is clearly.
Yeah, the 410, now remember, it's twice the capacity. It's going to be bigger.
But you would think it would be twice the size, and it's not.
The 200 amp hour, we're about 9 1/4 inches.
Yep.
On the 410, we're about 10 and a half from my angle anyway.
Yeah, anywhere between 3/8 and a half. Yep. So yeah, that's where the little bit of difference comes in.
Very close, very, very close. Let's see how much they weigh. This is very light. Even you have no problems with this.
Oh, no, no. Stick around there. Okay. And it says 46.6. And the 410, sorry.
This is a bit heavier. Keep in mind, it's still lighter than lead acids by far. I would not be doing this with 4 lead acid batteries.
That's true. All right. 80.2. Okay.
So it's not even twice as heavy. Redodo gives you this little packet with your information in it. Everything's in color.
I do like that. It's like got cartoon characters.
Don't open your battery.
Yes, that's a red X.
Don't be Will Prowse.
Don't have it upside down either.
And don't put it in water.
Or by fire. Good information.
Yes. And then you've got your product manual.
Yep.
Yeah, this does have a 250 amp BMS. It's capable of charging and discharging at 250 amps.
That's a lot of amps.
It is a lot of amps. Think of what you can do with all those amps. You can watch TV. If we had our inverter wired to do so, we could run the microwave.
That would be really nice.
Maybe that's something I'll tackle in the future. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have an onboard generator, but do you guys think that we should try and run microwave off the inverter, or just leave it like it is?
I mean, sometimes it would be nice, like when we're driving down the road in a traffic jam and you request food and have to run the microwave.
I do request food.
You very often request food.
This gives you all the important general information, all the voltages, watts. Yes, all the basics, how to hook it up, how to charge it. There's different parameters about the battery. This shows you the different voltages for the battery capacity. Now, voltage isn't like a super accurate way to tell what the capacity is. We'll throw our multimeter on here and just see what it's at. This is fresh out of the box. We haven't even hooked it up or done anything with it yet.
Yeah, that's true. We have not.
Out the Fluke, because the Fluke does not lie. I've had this many, many years. It's saying 13.1 volts, which puts it right at about 40%.
Okay, so that seems about accurate for shipping purposes.
Yeah, they can't ship it at 100%, so you have to charge it when you get it. We do have a Victron smart shunt installed in the motorhome. So once we get this charged up, the shunt will monitor how much we use it, and that will give us an accurate percentage of what the battery's at. So this covers how to connect the battery in series or parallel if you choose to do so. But like I said, it has to be like batteries. In this diagram, you can see they're all 410 amp hour batteries. You have to use like batteries or matched batteries, I guess you could say. Talks about load balancing. Now, we're only gonna run just the single battery, so this really doesn't apply to us per se, at least not at this point.
Right, let's not say it doesn't apply.
If I get another 410 amp battery, maybe I'll be looking at this book.
Yeah.
But some of you guys, you might throw down the money and buy 4 batteries or something and
Yeah,
connect
you
them all.
might want to have a large bank because you want to run ACs and all kinds of stuff.
If you wanted to set up solar for your house, you could buy a bank of these batteries.
That's true.
But in our RV, our space is limited. We don't have all the room that we have at home.
True.
So let's go ahead, let's install this battery and upgrade the solar and see what this thing's capable of.
Yeah, I want to see what we can do.
This is where our previous 200 amp hour battery was installed. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments here with these boards because this battery is slightly wider like we showed. So out of my homemade brace, I just had to move this one out
Just
a little bit. Just, I mean, this edge used to be flush with that edge. Now it's out a little bit, but I mean, that's it. I got my Victron battery sense installed on there. It's just got a sticky back on it.
What does that do?
It tells you what the temperature of the battery is. And which is important because lithium, you can't charge them below freezing. It tells you what the battery voltage is as well. So temperature and voltage, that's what it does.
Okay.
Looking at the Victron app, we're looking at the smart shunt because it says state of charge is 100%. but the Redodo is 400 amp hours. The old one was 200 amp hours. So I have to go in here and change the capacity from 200 to 400 to reflect the new battery. So it shows that we're at 13.2 volts. The shunt says we have 7.3 volts positive, so that means the Wraith charger is currently charging the battery. Again, this is state of charge 100%, but it's not accurate right now. It won't be accurate until it charges up completely, and then we start to deplete it.
Okay.
So next step, upgrade the solar, upgrade the controller, and then get it out in the sun.
Yeah.
And make sure that the solar will charge the Redodo battery.
Yeah, because that's kind of important.
This battery is going to be our game changer. I mean, the 200 amp hour, I'm not complaining. The 200 amp hour lithium was a game changer, but now this is twice that battery.
Yeah, and I really want to put it to the test for dry camping / boondocking / some summer adventures we have on our docket.
And lithium iron phosphate is going to do it for us. Previously, we installed a panel here and a solar panel there, each of them 200 watts. But we still got a little bit of real estate available up here and over here. I figure 800 watts of solar should be a pretty good match for the new battery. Coming inside here, you can see where I mounted the controller, which is a little one. It's 100 volts, 20 amps. So I got this, 150 volts, 60 amp. Look at the size difference. I've already done a video on installing solar, so I'm not gonna show this upgrading these 2 additional panels. I'll just show you the final product. If you want to see how I installed the solar, you can go back and watch the previous video, which I'm sure the link will be in the description or somewhere. The way that I plan to install these panels when they're on the roof of the Wraith, I'm gonna put 2 in series and 2 in series and then connect them in parallel. So testing the voltage out here, I'm gonna make sure I don't shade this panel, get maximum voltage out of it. You can see we're getting
47.4.
Yeah, I'm just slightly shading the panel, but we're getting about 47 volts out of it, right? We should get the same thing here.
$46.9.
Yep. So if we connect, let's just take the negative lead of this panel and connect it to the positive lead of this panel. Now when we check the voltage, it should be doubled. But volts and amps are inversely proportional. So as voltage goes up, amps go down. So that means I can use a smaller gauge wire or keep the same gauge wire I have that runs from the panels down to the controller. So we're gonna connect our negative and our positive, and I'm gonna try and get out of the sunlight here. What do we got?
It says 93.6.
And that's what we're looking for. I am finished on the roof. So those 2 panels there are connected together in series. The wire runs here. This panel and this panel are connected in series, and these 2 sets are connected together in parallel. And then it goes down through the roof right there. Now that I got the old controller out, you can see just how much bigger that new one is. I've decided that I want to mount this controller up against this, probably down here towards the bottom, maybe in this area somewhere. So I took all the screws out so I can remove this piece. It is backed with wood, but it's pretty thin. So I'll probably put some sort of backing pieces of wood on here or something to help support the weight. That wasn't too bad at all. Got the controller mounted, and I gotta pull the wires up through the hole in the floor there and connect them all. This is the wire that I was using that I pulled out. This is 10 gauge, and we're stepping it up to 4. We're using 4 gauge. So you can see side by side, it's pretty significant in the difference. Oh, we're getting closer and closer. Got the wires ran, got them connected. I just got to go outside and get all the wires hooked up out there. And here's the mess I got out here. This is what I got to get connected to my bus bars down here. I have to reattach all this stuff. You can see I cut out a bunch of zip ties, removing all the old wiring. So now I gotta make it look all nice and neat again. It's gonna about do it. Just gotta pick up my mess, which there's plenty of that. I got the cables all routed, connected. Still not sure what I want to do with this. I might take it off completely. I don't know. But from the MPPT controller, it comes down here, mega fuse, and then to the bus bar. So now we just gotta set up the controller. We are parked outside trying to collect some solar. It's a little bit cloudy, but let's see what we got. Getting about 287 watts right now. We're definitely gonna get a good charge on the Redodo. 295 watts, charged at 21 amps. For how cloudy it is, it's not bad. We've already collected 30 watt hours.
We are getting ready to go on a camping trip. Not too far from home. Spot looks just as good as any.
We figure we're gonna try out this Redodo battery overnight, just backyard camping, see how it does. But so far today, we pulled the Wraith out of the garage about 9 a.m. and so far we've collected 2.19 kilowatt hours of solar.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's currently at 380 watts, charged at 27 amps. So if we look at what we've got today, go to history, you can see the maximum was 709 watts at 84 volts. That's pretty good,
Yeah, that's
considering we
pretty
got
good.
800 watts of solar on the roof.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I like it.
It's doing really, really well, and we're gonna see if that Redodo battery does really, really well.
Yeah. You pipe. There you go.
Now out in the daylight, we can really see how these panels are installed up here. Still got some room left.
We are probably going to do some Jeep things today because it is warm. I am wearing shorts and a tank top. We're doing Jeep things here and it's raining on us.
Can't win.
Doors off, top off, rain. Sitting out here enjoying our nice evening together.
Trying.
Trying to. We've got a pipe on our underlap, but where's Guy? Oh, there he is, like a lump on the concrete.
It's 10 p.m. Guys back
Guy
there
just
going
made a
and
grumble.
been watching TV, you got the lights on, the fridge has been running.
Yeah.
I took a shower,
Yep.
and we're just running off of our Redodo battery just to see how we'll do over the course of a weekend.
Yeah, trying to give it a little test.
It's a dry camping simulation.
Yes, simulation. Piper is simulating quite well. Look at her go.
So currently, our 12-volt fridge is running, and with the lights on and the inverter on for the TV and stuff, we're using 13.8. We call it 14 amps. We're down to 95%. But like I said, it's 10 p.m., so we haven't had light for a while.
Yeah.
Looking at the solar that we collected today to charge the battery, 2.7 kilowatt hours,
Okay.
maximum of 709 watts, with a maximum battery voltage of 14.56. And
Okay.
it did get into absorption for just 38 minutes, but then the sun got too low.
Yeah.
We lost daylight. It is what it is.
Right.
And we got that fan up there running too.
Oh, yeah,
that's going to run all night.
That's actually been running all day.
That's not a heavy hitter, but it is a draw.
Right, it's something.
So we're going to call it a night because we're all whooped.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Guy's tired, that's why he's crying. Piper had a big day, clearly. But you too, Guy. Yeah?
It's officially morning.
Yep.
It's 9:06 a.m. and you can see how our battery is doing. It's down to 82%. The voltage did get down to 13.2 volts. It's 13.6 now, but we do have 120 watts of solar coming in. So I think what we're going to do is fire up the inverter and make a pot of coffee.
Yeah, because I really want some coffee. It's time.
The coffee maker is a pretty decent draw, so
Yeah, it's a decent one.
let's see what it does.
Coffee pot on.
Oh yeah. 91 amps, 90 amps.
Coffee is done and poured into our cups.
When the coffee maker was running, it did pull the battery voltage down to 12.6. But as soon as it was done, we turned it off. It came right back up to 13.1 volts. It did drop down to 78% state of charge, but we got solar coming in, so it'll bring it back up.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sunny out, so it'll be back.
I guess we can call this a pretty successful trial run with the new battery and the added solar panels. I think the next step is for us to go dry camp now.
I agree, and I'm excited.
If you guys are looking to upgrade your battery or upgrade to lithium or whatever, I would definitely check out Redodo. They have all different sizes. They got 100 amp hour, 200 amp hour, 300 amp hour, 410 amp hour. They have some that are self-heating. They have a little bit of everything. So I would check them out. So until next time,
See ya.
see ya. Check this out. We got 2 lights from electric bike.